I swiped right on my own wife, and she swiped right back. You heard that right. My name is Mark Henderson, 42 years old, architect. I design structures meant to last. Foundations, load-bearing walls. I build things that are supposed to stand strong against the test of time. I thought my marriage was one of those structures. Solid, unshakable. But that was before the ground opened up beneath me. Right here, in Chicago, in the home I thought was my sanctuary. Sarah Henderson, my wife, 38 years old, a marketing whiz, vibrant, beautiful, the woman I fell for in grad school at Northwestern. It was 12 years ago, and together we built a life, a beautiful life, the kind of life you dream of, you work for, brick by brick. And the funny thing is, we had it all, or at least it looked like we did. Lincoln Park brownstone, careers clicking along, weekends at the Art Institute, summers in Door County, a family, a future, a life anyone would be proud to have, a life I believed was unshakable. Beat. Mark leans forward, his eyes locked onto the audience. We had the rhythm, you know? The comfortable silence of a Sunday morning. The shared glance over Emily's head when she said something hilarious. The predictable arguments about who forgot to take the recycling out. It felt safe, real, or so I thought. Beat. His expression darkens. But cracks start small, almost imperceptible, like frost spreading silently on a window pane. You don't notice until the whole pane is webbed. Her phone, it became glued to her hand. Always face down, always hidden. Passwords changed. Oh, just work stuff, Mark. Big campaign launch. You know how it is. And I did know. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Snaps fingers, quick transition in his tone. Later nights, more frequent. Client dinners, networking events, just grabbing drinks with the girls from work. But there was a team she never really talked about before. And the more I asked about her day, the more I could feel it, the subtle edge in her voice. A little more criticism about, well, me, my routines, my predictability. Mark pauses, takes a moment, eyes reflecting deep regret. Midlife stuff, right? We're all navigating it. Stress, the grind that starts to feel a little too real, a little too stale. I chalked it up to that. I tried to be more attentive. Planned a weekend getaway she kept rescheduling. Bought flowers that seemed to wilt faster than usual. I told myself, be patient. It's just a phase. This is marriage. You ride the waves. He shakes his head, the weight of truth settling in. But there was a coldness, a distance, like she was retreating behind a glass wall. I'd reach out and touch ice, shift in energy, more intense. So one night, a few weeks back, I met up with my old college buddy, Ben. You know him. Ben, 45, always the life of the party, always the loud laugh, always full of stories, clapping me on the shoulder like we were still in our 20s. He laughs, pulls me in close, and says, come on, Henderson, 12 years with the same woman. You're either a saint or insane. He gestures vaguely, still grinning. Seriously, man, after Tina left. He rolls his eyes. There's this app, Veritas Connect. Sounds pretentious, right? But it's legit. High-end. Not like those hookup joints. Lets you peek behind the curtain. See what else, or who else, is out there in the windy city jungle. Curiosity, man. Harmless. Mark pauses, a slight chuckle, then drops the tone back into intensity. I laughed. Yeah, I laughed along with him. But here's the thing, his words stuck with me. Later that night, after a couple of beers, I found myself sitting alone in my home office. The glow of my laptop lights up my face. I'm staring at it, and I tell myself, just a peek, just a look. It's harmless, right? I tell myself that. Just a moment of curiosity. I'm not doing anything wrong. I just want to know. Just want to see if the grass is greener on the other side. Slight pause as Mark intensifies his gaze. So, I type it in. Veritas Connect. And there it is. I download the app. Create a profile, Lone Wolf Arch. I throw in a blurry, old hiking picture. A vague bio. Nothing special. Nothing that would make anyone blink twice. I start scrolling. Faces flash by. Attractive. Successful. Lonely. It feels strange, like window shopping for people. Disconnected. Meaningless. Mark scoffs, shaking his head at his past self. But then I see it. The blood in my veins freezes. Serene Seeker 38. That's her. Sarah. Her. The hair is different, sure. But that smile is unmistakable. I know it like I know my own reflection. And the photos? One from a wedding we went to last summer. Another from Napa 2 years ago. I took those photos. Those are ours. Mark runs a hand through his hair, his voice growing more frantic. Successful, passionate Chicagoan, seeking genuine connection and intellectual spark. Craves adventure beyond the routine. Open-minded and ready for something real. Real? I wasn't enough adventure? When did I stop being enough? This wasn't just a profile. No, this was a declaration. A meticulously crafted lie aimed straight at the heart of everything we built. At everything I believed. Mark looks down at the floor for a moment, his voice heavy with emotion. Panic rises. It's hot, burning, sour in my throat. My hand's shaking. My brain is screaming. Close it. Delete it. Confront her. But I can't. No, I can't. Something darker takes over. Something primal. And I click. Mark's face turns pale, his eyes wide, his breath shallow. It flashes. It's a match. You and Serene Seeker 38 like each other. Start chatting now. Mark exhales sharply, his voice now a broken whisper. Match. He stares at the screen, the glow reflecting in his eyes, shattered. The noise of his surroundings fades as the reality of what just happened hits him. I'm just sitting there now, numb, watching the screen. That notification, that match, it's the death knell of everything I thought we had. My picture-perfect life? It's just broken glass now. Slight pause. His voice softens. And in the silence, I realize it's over. I'm staring at that screen. It's a match. Notification burns into my eyes like a brand, searing through the darkness. My expression? It's not horror anymore. No, that passed. This is something colder. A terrifying blankness. The kind of calm that comes after the storm, when the destruction has already happened, and there's nothing left to do but reckon with the aftermath. Shock is a temporary anesthetic. It numbs you, gives you a few precious seconds before the real pain sets in. Mine wore off somewhere around 3:17 a.m., staring at that damn screen. Then the cold came. A glacial wave, the kind that washes over the wreckage, leaving you standing in its wake. Nausea, that was replaced by something much more dangerous. Clarity, ice-cold, razor-sharp clarity. I slowly closed the laptop lid. The room fell into near darkness, lit only by the faint streetlight filtering through the blinds. I sat perfectly still in the silence, breathing in the suffocating stillness. My mind raced, but my body? It was frozen. This wasn't a glitch, not a prank. This was deliberate, calculated. My wife, Sarah Henderson, was actively seeking something, someone, on a dating app, using pictures I took, our life, our home, as her backdrop. And there it was, the word that echoed in the hollow space where my heart used to be. Cheating. This was infidelity, served up in pixels and algorithms. And that match? That was my own hand, guided by a desperate, furious need for undeniable proof. Proof I now had, but couldn't fully comprehend. I stood up abruptly. The chair scraped harshly against the floor. I paced, my movements sharp, erratic. I felt like a caged animal. What now? Scream? Smash something? Storm into the bedroom and shake her awake? Demand answers? God, I wanted to. I wanted to see the fear in her eyes. Make her feel just a fraction of this agony. But the ice held. A colder voice whispered, proof isn't enough. You need the truth. The whole, ugly truth. You need to see the monster. Because that's what this felt like. A monster had crawled into our bed, into our life, wearing my wife's skin. I stopped pacing, my gaze fixed on the bedroom door. Silence. It was suffocating, crushing. So, I became someone else. Mark Henderson, architect, loving husband, devoted father, he was gone, shattered by a single swipe. In his place, a detective, a digital ghost, haunted by the wreckage of my own marriage. Obsessed, ruthless. I needed to map the betrayal, understand its scope, identify the enemy. Every notification chime from her phone became a gunshot. Every late night, a crime scene, speeding up as I becomes consumed by my mission. The tools of my new trade were mundane, poisonous. The shared iPad? A trove of potential evidence. A violation I hated myself for even considering. Her fleeting moments of carelessness, leaving her phone unlocked for just 30 seconds while grabbing laundry. The credit card statements, once a chore, now a forensic ledger documenting lies. Every inconsistency, every unexplained gap, was another brick in the wall of her deceit. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was logistical. It required planning, duplicity, time stolen from us, from Emily, meticulously rerouted to feed this thing. Shifting to a more clinical tone. A week passed. I was hunched over the iPad late at night. Then I found it. Sarah's hidden album. Password cracked after days of trying variations. Emily's birthday, our anniversary, and finally, her old college nickname. Inside, screenshots, texts, mostly mundane. Then one, close-up on Mark's shaking hands as he scans the text conversation. A screenshot. Sarah, labeled me, and someone named David M. The words hit me like a physical blow. Sarah, can't stop thinking about last Tuesday. That hotel bar, risky, but so worth it. You're addictive. David, told you. Fireworks. When's our next escape? Need my fix. David M. A name she'd mentioned casually weeks ago. Oh, David. New client. Big account. Bit of a charmer, actually. Charmer? Understatement of the fucking century. Addictive. Fireworks. Need my fix. This wasn't just a flirtation. No, this was a full-blown affair. Chemical. Physical. The hotel bar charge? Confirmed. The Tuesday afternoon meeting? Lying in asterisk our bed, texting him about being addictive. I felt sick. My hands shook, but I forced myself to keep digging. I searched David M. within the app. Found his profile. David M. 42. Well-groomed, confident smirk. Expensive watch visible. His bio? Successful finance guy? Married, but looking for something more. Discretion essential. Let's make life exciting. I couldn't help it. I laughed. The bastard was married, too. Discretion essential. Coward. Predator. Preying on what? My wife's restlessness? Her perceived invisibility? Snapping his fingers as an idea forms. I looked at David's face. Smug. Entitled. The banality of this monster was almost worse than if he'd looked like a villain. I thought about it for a moment. I needed her to confirm this. To look me in the eye and shatter the last illusion herself. The app? The match? It wasn't just a profile anymore. It was a trap. I opened the Veritas Connect app on my phone. Navigated to Serene Seeker 38. The chat window was blank. I typed, my fingers deliberate, each keystroke echoing in the silent room. Recognize Lincoln Park? Coffee tomorrow, 3 p.m.? The usual spot. Slowly, Mark smiles a bitter smile. I hesitated for just a second, then hit send. The wait was agony. A different kind of torture. Minutes passed. And then, the notification sound. My heart skipped a beat. I looked at the screen. Usual spot? Okay, 3 p.m. Be there. D. David. The confirmation. D. David. She thought it was him. Confirmed their meeting place. Confirmed the affair. The usual spot. How many times had they met there? How many Tuesday afternoons had I been designing buildings, while she was sharing stolen hours with him? The next day, 2:45 p.m. A crisp Chicago afternoon. I stood across the street from an upscale coffee shop near the Loop. I was wearing sunglasses, a hat pulled low, trying to be invisible. I was a ghost in my own life, haunting my wife's betrayal. The usual spot. Neutral ground. Public, but intimate enough for secrets. I knew it. She'd mentioned meeting clients here before. Now I knew which client. Slow burn of realization. I felt like a stalker, a spy, but the ice inside me held. This was reconnaissance. Final confirmation before the war began. I watched her approach. She was wearing a sharp navy coat, her hair down, a hint of extra makeup. She looked expectant, nervous, excited. She checked her phone, scanned the street briefly, then walked inside. There she was, Sarah, my wife, Serene Seeker 38, walking into a coffee date with a phantom. Me, her secret lover, sinking deeper into despair. The sheer audacity of it. She's waiting for him, for David, oblivious to the fact that her judge, jury, and utterly shattered husband was watching from 20 feet away. He stares at her for a long moment. She texts something, waits. No reply. She sighs, leans back, checks her watch. The seconds crawl. Each glance at the door, each tap on her phone, was a tiny hammer blow. Smiling coldly. This was it. This was the reality of her affair. The stolen moments, the whispered lies, were now just mundane waiting for the next fix. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't passionate. It was just small, sordid, destroying everything we had. Sarah sighs again, checking her reflection. Mark's gaze hardens. Was she thinking about him? About Tuesday? Or was she just annoyed he was late? The banality of it made my blood boil. She checked her phone again. The smile was gone. The impatience was setting in. Slowly, Mark makes his move. I stand up. I leave the espresso cup behind, full. I don't look at her again. I walk out of that coffee shop, the bell jingling behind me, back into the harsh, indifferent sunlight. Speaks softly to himself. Gotcha. The digital detective had his evidence. The fog had lifted. The confrontation? It wasn't coming. It was here, and it would be merciless. What happens next? Will Mark confront David? Can the pieces of his broken life be put back together? Don't miss the next chapter. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the next thrilling chapter of Mark's journey. What do you think will happen next? Leave your thoughts below. See you in the next chapter.